Welcome to another Tea Time with Tanya. Today I want to talk about how to stay in the flow. Last week I had a week that was just pure flow. It just felt like everything was coming through very quickly. Anything that I wanted to manifest. We created the first Tribal Truth men's event on Friday. I mean, it was like things were really moving quickly. And then Saturday night, I got cracked wide open by an intuitive reading by my friend Jana May. And it's interesting because this is something that can easily take someone out of the flow, is resistance. We resist so much in life, and most of the time we're just resisting life. And what I realized is that I really needed to take care of myself the last 2 days, and I needed to move through my process and acknowledge, first of all, the resistance that was coming up for me, that was coming up in the form of a yawn, checking out, wanting to run away and hide. And I think if we're wanting to stay in the flow, we need to notice that life is constantly changing. We are constantly ebbing and flowing. We are constantly, shifting, contracting, expanding. And it's when we're in the flow, it's when we're in that expansion phase. But with expansion, we have to contract, right? It's the heartbeat. The heartbeat expands and contracts. So we have to acknowledge and be with the resistance, the contraction, and allow ourselves to move through it. And that's exactly what happened today. So what Jana brought up for me was my relationship with the feminine, my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my anger, my relationship with the masculine, and all of these things that, of course, was what was really flowing through me last week. And so today, got on the phone with my mom, crying, connecting, sharing with her, just all of this that was coming up around these generational patterns that had been passed on to me around my anger and around what I deeply desire in terms of being loved and held by the mother, by that unconditional love. And I just want to take a moment to really acknowledge my mom for being so incredibly strong, and just the way she listened to me today and just said, I'm just open to receiving everything that you have to say, and just really listening and just being so supportive and loving, and just really connecting with me on a deeper level. It's like we just keep going deeper. And she said something really powerful at the end of our conversation, and she said, I'm glad you're doing this work now while I'm still alive, because I didn't get to work through my issues with my mother until she passed. And it took me 60 years. And here you are doing the work, and, and just that acknowledgement of, and me just tapping into how special our relationship is and how much work my mother has done. And that has really been a model for me to keep truth seeking, to keep telling the truth, to keep doing the work. And yet it took something. It took a full 36-hour period for me to get to that point of having that conversation. And that is the flow. The flow, continuing the flow, is to keep noticing the resistance and then moving through it and sharing. And when we can have conversations, this is the truth-telling piece. This is why this is so critical. When we can have that conversation, we then get back into the flow. And the flow just continues because we've moved through the contraction and expanded our heart. I expanded my heart by talking to my mom today. So I want to hear from you. Have you noticed this resistance in your own life? Have you noticed the contraction? What do you do? Do you lean into it and open your heart and share? Share with us on the blog here. That would be amazing. And I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.